Hello and welcome to my video. I've been looking for CMDB written in Python and I've not been able to find anything. So I decided to actually create the CMDB in Python using the classes in Python. I'm gonna guess that the reason why Python has not been used for the CMDB is because it's going to be slow. For example, the current deployments of CMDB are done originally in C++ and then they became Java. So the entire code is loaded into memory and populated before you even start working with the CMDB. Here in this case, I'm going to create a list of Python classes with the basic CMDB classes, and I just want to do it because it's a challenge to me, and I don't know if anybody has done it and just kept the code to themselves, but maybe we can collaborate. So this is my first video on this, day one. I first wanted to share what is the CMDB. So the CMDB is the Configuration Management Database. It's made out of CIs, which are configuration items, and then relationships. These are the record relationship is a database record that basically connects to CI. So if you have a record of a CI computer system and then application, those are two CIs, but they need to be connected by a relationship. So that record, third record, is the relationship itself. So they each have attributes, and they're used heavily in any enterprise level or big production environments. And the reason is because you can quickly calculate a business service impact between what's called a portfolio and a platform, where the platform, for example, Azure, will cost you, let's say you have a system that's costing you $1 million an hour, okay? And that is a platform component where the CI of a business service is connected to something that's called a portfolio. So the business service type would be a portfolio, and that portfolio helps you offset the cost of that platform. So if it's costing me $1 million an hour to run this, do I have portfolios that are actually generating money that are associated with this platform that offset that $1 million? So for example, if I'm making $10 million out of this particular component, well, then I'm making $9 million in profit because then $1 million is offset. Now, if your impacts are going beyond, platform costing you $20 million an hour and you have a portfolio that only brings in $1 million an hour, well, then you're losing $19 million an hour, and that basically connects to your bottom line, which is the EBITDA, the estimated burn rate within the company, which is something that the bean counters, the accounting guys that sign the paycheck or, just checks for things care about. And you want to be able to demonstrate using the CMDB that your portfolio is better than your platform. So, when you can justify spending $1 million per hour to Azure for whatever reason, can you document that you've actually making money by offsetting it with that portfolio? So this is there's a component called normalization, and normalization, this is a database term which normalizes the data, so it's always the same. And that means that if I have a company, mycompany.com is called mycompanyincorporated.com, or is it called just my company? So the normalization says, well, we're going to give it one name, and there is code behind the scenes that makes it equal. So if you find any patterns, that says my company has this long name, it will take that particular string and it will convert it to just mycompany.com. Okay, and so that's the normalization piece of it. So when you run a query on this particular thing within the CMDB, you can tell that you're talking about the same object. So it's going to be unique and normalized to one value, so you can run a report and figure out very quickly if your burn rate exceeds your portfolio cost. The reconciliation of the CMDB just promotes and reconciles data, so you have so in some cases more than one data sets that are feeding into what's called a production data set. The production data set is going to have everything that's currently being used in my production. If it's not in production, it should not be in your production data set, which is, I'm not going to give any acronyms here, but there are companies that are using specific naming conventions for their golden data set, and your golden data set basically means this is right now in my environment. That's what I want to use for analysis. The third thing, or the fourth thing here, is the product catalog. So there's a service catalog and a product catalog. The service catalog actually becomes more dominating now because nobody really cares about the hardware anymore. So 25 years ago, people were putting like keyboards, mice, monitors, and so on into their CMDB. Today, that actually doesn't matter because the collected value of a business service is now put into that business service. So if I have a technical business service, it's costing me money as a portfolio, then the product catalog needs to reflect that it's that type of a business service. And the product catalog will also tell me that it's a portfolio type of business service. So all of that information goes into the product catalog so that we can get a on-demand report that tells me I am making the CMDB my helper, just like employee. You're actually, in the future, AI will probably be using the CMDB much more efficiently than people, because most people actually in management, if you go beyond the technical level, there's nobody in management that really understands what the CMDB is, and this is why the CMDB has been kind of suffering for, I would say, the last 10 years, because people just don't know what it is. But they want to have reports, so they keep asking for reports. It's kind of still today you will see people asking you for a report in CSV format, XLS format, or they will have like a portal where the portal gives you reports and things. They don't really understand where the data comes from because they're only seeing the endpoint of all of this, sadly. But hopefully these videos will help people to understand what configuration management is about. So back to the Python piece, just real quickly, I wanted to share the origin of the DMTF is a data management task force. It's a database of data structures. This particular webpage, I don't know if you want to follow up on this, but it's been around roughly 30 years, and they were the first people that designed the common data model for the CMDB. Everything comes from there. I don't know if ServiceNow is actually using this particular format, but I know that BMC does, and I can show that by sharing this particular data structure of BMC computer system, where BMC was kind enough, and again, I don't even know if the management currently at BMC knows that this is still in there. BMC has given in the origin of this particular model, they given a credit to the DMTF webpage. They're saying that the BMC computer system corresponds to the DMTF configuration item management computer system class, meaning that I'm going to store all of my computer systems, whether they're virtual or hardware, into this particular data structure. But since it is a computer system that is not the same as a person or business service, it's a child of a hierarchy that was originally created in C++. Currently, I think BMC is running this in Java. And the base element is the original class. Originally, it was actually called the BMC asset. It may actually still be in here. Yeah, class ID is BMC asset base. So originally that was the name of the class, but for whatever reason they renamed it to base element so that the asset base is not visible to people. I don't know, maybe the word ASS in there was offending somebody, so they just changed it to base elements. It's possible, it's a corporation, right? So everything that BMC did, they prepended with BMC core as the namespace. That makes it kind of theirs, but again, the origin is dmtf.org. So enough on that. I'm going to switch over to the Python side of it. So here is the Python data class. I'm going to actually run this. So if I just run my Python to show my main function, it really doesn't return anything. It just compiles it and runs it, but I'm going to be able to store data in this particular class. I started with the main function for, say, computer system, just like you saw. Now I did it for this particular video so that you have some sort of a visual reference of what I'm talking about. Here, the computer system, as you can see, is going to be a data class that is not using the BMC prefix, because I don't think that BMC actually owns the CMDB. They kind of assumed, that everybody in the world is going to be using BMC computer system or BMC person. That's not really what that was intended for. The actual data structure of the computer system or of anything in the CMDB, any CI, should not have any association with any company, and this is probably why people are actually losing out, because the conversion from one class to another, it has to be modified by having the prefix BMC core as a namespace, and then BMC underscore computer system as the class. So when you try to migrate your data from one company or one vendor of the CMDB to another, you have that challenge of having to convert these classes. I think the classes should not have that particular association, but that's why I'm doing this. I'm going to create this code in Python, and then I'm probably going to share this on GitHub, although I don't like to do that. GitHub is a, anybody can use your stuff and you get no credit. Everything costs money, so if you want to monetize some of my videos, that'd be great, but I'm just doing this to share. So there it is. So the function actually just runs like this. I run the class. It didn't give me anything. So the next step is going to be you have to actually create all the other classes, at least the basic classes: BMC person, computer system, application, and business services. Probably IP addresses. I'm not really sure if anybody cares about that other than security at this point. There are integrations with CrowdStrike and Rapid7 that can take advantage of this stuff. I have created those particular data structures. I'm not going to share this in this video here, but if you're interested, just let me know. You can reach out to me by sending me a comment through this particular video. So thank you so much. Again, this is going to be Python, and well, one more here. The data classes come from the data class. And the data class is going to be computer system, and we'll have an inheritance of probably ACID base, because that was the original class. I don't know why base element needed to be there, but there it is. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.